Hi, hello everyone. We're going to begin today's presentation by taking a closer look at the LearnWorlds dashboard. Now, all of the information that you find here can actually be found in more detail in other areas of the platform, but what we've done is design the dashboard to give you a single pane of glass so that you understand exactly what's happening in your school without having to go to a bunch of different areas under different menus. So the first thing you see here at the top of the page is your new signups, your revenue, your product sales, and your active learners over the course of 7 days to up to about 60 days, depending on how much of a view you want to get. Now, on the right here, you'll find important statistics like how many users are on your platform, the average time each user spends on your platform, the number of courses that you're offering, the course categories that you've created, as well as sales over the course of 30 days. Now this number here, conversions, is a very important number to watch. This is actually the number of users who have signed up to your platform versus the number of users who have signed up and actually enrolled or purchased a course. So low conversion rate, if you are an open school, means that users are signing up to your platform. However, they are not enrolling or not purchasing courses, so there might be a disconnect with either your content, maybe the pricing. So it's something you should definitely look into if you have a low conversion rate. Down here at the bottom, we'll find some more information on our new users, any assignments that need to be graded that have been submitted by your students, any posts within the community. We'll see any blog posts here as well. And then we have our events log. Now the event log is really any activity that is taking place within your school. This could be a student visiting a course page, logging in, logging out, enrolling in a course, earning a certificate, or completing a course. Every one of these little activities is actually stored historically in the events log so that you can actually go back and take a look at all the events and things that have taken place throughout your school. And then next we have our online users. So this will actually let me know what other users are online while I'm online. So this will allow me to communicate directly with these users by clicking contact. So if you are a very interactive school and perhaps you see a student on that you know is struggling, it would make good sense, or it would be a good idea to reach out to those users, click contact, and then of course just say, hey, I noticed you're online while I'm here. Is there anything that I can help you out with? Now that we've kind of gone through the dashboard, I'm just going to point out a couple other areas of importance, especially when you first get started here. This is the What's New button. This will actually open up a menu here on the right that will describe all the new features and the functionality that have been added to the platform. Now, we are a SaaS-based platform, so we are consistently adding new features based off of the requests that we get from our customers. As you can see, we add things, I'd say, every month to about a month and a half. So you can definitely check this out and see what's new on the platform. There's nice articles here kind of giving you walkthroughs on how to use the new features, as well as nice little descriptions of each one. Other important button is this help button up here in the upper right. So this will actually bring you to our help center. And there are a lot of really helpful things here if you are just getting started. So you'll find information on our LearnWorlds Academy here, which is a library of online courses that we've created to help you understand how to use the platform, to help you understand how to create content for your school. And you can actually see some of the most popular courses listed out down here, and you can just select those and enroll in those courses if you like. We also have our knowledge base here. So the knowledge base is actually a library of support articles. So really anything from setting up a payment gateway to using reporting or modifying any of the settings, there's articles written by our support team on all of that. So you can actually quickly search the knowledge base using this Ask for Help button down here in the lower right. This will actually open up a nice little search bar here. And again, you can just do a quick search for whatever you're looking for, whether it's the payment gateway, and you'll find a nice little article here on how to set up your payment gateway, and this is a nice step-by-step. Now, if this is not enough and you need additional help, you can always back out of this and go to the Contact Us button here and open up a ticket with our customer support. They are 24/7, so they will respond quite quickly. So if you have any questions on the product, if you're experiencing any issues, you can always just open up a ticket here directly with the support team, and they will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, so now that we have covered just kind of the important areas to get started, why don't we actually come over here to the left and start going through the admin menu here. Now, I will come back to the courses builder and the site builder at the second half of this presentation. I just think it's important for us to understand how to kind of configure some of the stuff and what else is available on the platform before we start getting into those areas. So let's go ahead and start with user management. There are 4 types of users in LearnWorlds. There are your basic user, there are instructors, there are admin, and of course there are affiliates. All of them can be accessed here. Now this is the user management page. From here you can access any of your users. You can see when they last logged in, when they registered, including the courses they're enrolled in and any tags that have been assigned to that user. And I'll get into tags in just a little bit here. Over on the right, you can access the user management menu for each one of these users here. You can update their information, update their password, you can reset their password, send them a message, enroll them or remove them from products, make them an admin or instructor, or even suspend, anonymize, or delete an account. Clicking on a user will open up their user details. From here, I can see what courses they're enrolled in, what their average score is, their average study time, and any of the fields that were filled out during my sign-up form. I'll be able to see that information here. I can add additional tags here. Now, a tag is a individual identifier that can be added to a particular user, and this is for segmentation purposes, this is for reporting purposes, and you can also control some of the content that these users will be able to see based on their tags. So you could have pop-ups that specifically target a single, a single tag group if you'd like. I can also add notes here, and these are admin-specific notes, so the user will not be able to see what is added here. Clicking courses will pull up any of their course information so that I can actually drill into this and see where they are in the course, any grades that they've received on any of the assignments or exams, and I can see how much time they're spending on each one of those little segments there. Activity will again be the events log here, so this will show me when the user's logged in, when they're logging out, when they visited a course, any purchases they've made. All their historical data will be stored here, so you know each activity the user's made on the platform. You can also see their invoices or their payments here as well. And of course, if there's any UTM fields that you're working with, that information will be stored here. Now, if you are an open platform, meaning that you are having users come from the internet, it's very easy for a user to sign up. They just come, they enter their username, their email, their password, they gain access to your school, and their information will populate here. However, if you are more of a private school and you want to manually enroll your users, you have a couple options when it comes to that in LearnWorlds. First, I can come up here and just click this to add one user at a time. So I can add a username here, an email, any of the form information that I have set up within my forms. I can add tags here as well, and then I can go ahead and add that user. Now they will receive an email asking them to set up a password so that they can access the school. If you have more than one user that you want to give access at once, let's say you have about 40 users that you want to import, you can do that through bulk actions. So if you click here, you can actually use this Excel sheet here. If you download that as a template, fill out the information, upload the file here, add any tags that you'd like, and of course go through these options here and import the users. So this will allow you to add multiple groups of users at a time based on just doing it individually. And again, these users will receive an email asking them to set a password. Other bulk actions that you can do include enrolling users into courses, tagging users, unenrolling users, suspending and deleting accounts. Now, I can also go ahead and just select users that I'd like. Maybe I want to enroll them in a specific course here. I can use this menu down here, choose the course that I want, or I can create a custom list here if I want to enroll in multiple courses at once, and then go ahead and enroll those users. If a user is an instructor, I can go ahead and actually assign the courses that that instructor has the ability to access, and I can do that from here. You can see this particular instructor has 2 courses assigned to him already. If I want to add an additional course, I come here, say that I want to add, my 3rd course, or this test course here. I'm going to do my 3rd course. I'm going to give this particular instructor a nice 10% cut of any enrollment fees of that course. And I'm going to go ahead and add. Now, when you add an instructor to a course, they now have access to modify the course content, the settings. They can modify the course layout page, and of course, they can grade papers associated to that course. Otherwise, they do not have access to any other course that they're not assigned to. Affiliates, if you're not familiar with affiliates are individuals that you can bring on to your school to help market your school to others by promising them a commission for each enrollment that they bring you into your course. So I can assign affiliates pretty similar to the way I assign my instructors. I can add their information here and just pull from my list of contacts, whether it's a user or an instructor. You can see you can just do a quick search here. Choose a commission level for that particular user. So how much commission will they make off of each enrollment they bring you? And you can select your payment methods here as well, and then click add to add those individuals as an affiliate. Now you can always modify this if you need to. If you want to increase that commission rate, you can. And I will get further into the affiliate program when we actually get to the marketing tab, which I'm actually going to move to now. So we are an all-in-one platform. We do allow for, we do have functionality for marketing as well as, creating courses and creating the website itself around your courses. So under the marketing tab, you have information on marketing products. You have options for marketing tools, and of course, your affiliate management system here. So if I go ahead and actually click bundles here under marketing products, this will allow me to create bundles of courses, which I can sell all at once. So I could just come up with a nice little test bundle here, give it a description, an image that will be tied and associated to that product, and then I can go ahead and actually choose the courses that I want to include in this bundle. I can see each one of these courses is actually worth $100, so I might want to sell this bundle for $250. If I have a user who's going to attend all 3 of my courses, and they can see that they can buy a bundle up front with all 3 courses for a discounted price, they're more likely to buy all 3 of your courses other than just buying them one at a time. Once I decide to put that in public, users can then see it and access that bundle. As long as I have it in draft mode, I can work on this in the background and no one will be able to access that. And then I can actually go ahead and save and create that bundle if I'd like. You do have the ability to do subscription-based pricing in LearnWorlds, so this means that you can actually set up kind of like a membership pricing program where a user will pay for a specific period of time and gain access to the courses that you've included in that subscription. Now, this could be anywhere from a month to 2 months to 6 months to a year. It's really up to you on how many subscriptions you want to offer. You could have different levels of subscriptions if you like. You just choose the length that the subscription is going to run for, the courses that are involved there, and the price of that subscription. Now, in order to do subscription-based pricing in LearnWorlds, you do need to have a Stripe payment gateway set up. It is the only payment gateway that will allow for subscription-based pricing in LearnWorlds. Under marketing tools, you'll find information here for creating coupons. So if I want to create a nice little promotion here, I could say this is my May promotion. Oops, helps if I spell promotion right. And then I can set a percentage here and say, let's say that I'm going to do a 15% discount for the month of May off of, I can choose individual products, or I could say all my products. I'm going to add that product here, and then I'm going to come up with a coupon code that users can use at checkout. So this could be something like May promo go. Now this is case sensitive, so whatever you put in here, it does matter if they're using capitals or not. I can choose a quantity. If I leave this blank, it's unlimited, and I can choose an expiration date here. So if I want to say this promo is going to end on the 31st, and I can go ahead and create that coupon. When a user enters this at checkout, they will receive that nice little 15% discount. You can see I've now created a nice little coupon here. Other marketing tools include lead management. So we do have the ability to add things like contact forms or even email grabbers, we'd like to call them, anywhere throughout your school. So if somebody were, for instance, interested in signing up for your newsletter and they filled that information out in a newsletter area, you could tag them with the word newsletter, as well as let you know what page that actually was submitted from. You can see I have some information on my first course as well. And that information will be stored here. Now you can export this data to do your marketing. However, if you are using some type of email marketing platform, you do have the ability to integrate with a number of them. So you can actually push this information directly into your email marketing platform so you can start sending newsletters or start sending information on particular courses. Affiliate management, and I'm just going to touch on a couple pieces here in affiliate management. This is an optional program, so you do not have to have this if you do not want it. You can turn this on and off. This will allow me to edit the page in the LearnWorlds site builder for the affiliate agreement. So if I am going to have an affiliate program, I highly suggest you come in here and edit that page. It is a template that we have provided you. It is based on UK law. So if your laws are different, or you're looking to put different information forward to your affiliates, I highly recommend coming in here and making your modifications. Next, we're going to set a commission rate, a cookie expiration date, and a commission payable after. So this means this is the commission rate that I'm going to assign any new affiliate that wants to sign up to be an affiliate for my school. They'll get 10% of any enrollment that they bring me. The user profile page that we saw earlier where you can set affiliate commission rates, that does overwrite this particular one. So if you had a particular affiliate that does really well for your school, they're generating a lot of enrollments, they're generating a lot of revenue for your school, you could always go to their user details and actually increase their rate. If you'd like, it will override this. Cookie expiration is the time set for a user that comes from an affiliate to actually enroll in a course. So if an affiliate gives me a URL, I click on it, I go to your school, I sign up. However, I don't sign up or enroll in a course, and I enroll in a course maybe 32 days later, the affiliate's not due the commission because the cookie has expired. If I had enrolled within those 30 days, then that commission would be due to the affiliate. Commission payable after means that a particular user must be enrolled in a course for this amount of time before you decide to pay the affiliate. This is here for your protection. This is so a user doesn't sign up, you pay the affiliate, and then the user disappears 2 days later, getting their money back. And now you've paid the affiliate and you've lost out. So these can all go up to about a year. If you want to increase this to a year, you can. Now you can manually add your affiliates like we saw earlier in user management. Or you can actually come here and activate a self-registration page. This will allow you to create a page within your school that users can go to, whether they're from the internet, whether they're your users, they can come to this page and they can sign up to be an affiliate from that page. Again, I can actually edit that page from here. So this is a nice little shortcut into the site builder if I want to edit how that page is going to look. I can choose some of the options here and what my affiliates can view and not view in terms of commissions. I can turn some of these options off in regards to customers and leads for affiliates, choose the payment method, and even go ahead and choose the products that I want my affiliates to work on. The affiliate dashboard will allow me to view how much revenue my affiliates are generating for the school, which affiliates are actually generating the most revenue, any new affiliates that I have, any commissions that are due, any pending payouts that are due. I can even add affiliates and approve commissions from this page if I'd like. So this will be a nice little snapshot of your affiliate program and how it actually is doing for your school. The commissions and payouts tab or payments tab will allow you to approve and reject any of the commissions that are stored in your system. And the payments tab will allow you to track which payments you have made and which payments are still due to your affiliates. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the report center. So there are a number of reports that you can actually get in LearnWorlds, whether it's user analytics, exam reports, reports on your sales, and of course the activity history of what's going on in your school. User analytics is actually made up of two different areas. We have user progress here and course insights. Now user progress will allow you to see how your users are progressing within your school. How are they doing with your courses? So you can come here and use any of these filters to search for a particular segment of users, whether it is a tag that you are looking for a specific user group, whether it is a email that you want to search by, or even progress, average score, or the course that you want. Once you have the filters set that you want, you go ahead and apply those filters and you'll get your results down here. Now you can be much more advanced if you like and do a nice advanced search if you're looking for a specific segment of users. However, this is a and or search. So I could look for something like active users who are in the EU and enrolled in a specific course. I can continue on if I'd like, so you can get very, very segmented if you like, and then I can apply those filters and get my results down here. Now when you do have your results, each one of these can be drilled into, so I can actually click here and see which courses this user is enrolled in, how much of it they've actually completed, their average score, their study time, and then of course if I'd like to, I can actually drill into this further and see where they are in my course. And this works for all of these users, so I can see the same thing here, average score, time spent, and again I can drill into this information further if I'd like. Now if I find a segment that I want or a report that I want, and I don't want to continuously go up here and always reset the filters when it's time for me to find that report, I can save that report here. I'll just call this one new report, and we'll save that segment. Now, I got no filter set up, so I'm actually going to have to set just one filter here. We'll look for those enrolled in my first course. So I'm going to go ahead and save a segment here. We'll call it new report and save. So I now have a nice little report here. I can either export that user information right here, or I can even schedule a report. So I can do that from here, or I can actually come out here and do it. But I click schedule report. I can choose the report that I want. I can come down here and say what kind of report that I actually want to receive. And then, of course, I can come here, choose when this report is going to run, the time it's going to run. I can choose a duration, Excel file, or CSV, and I can even have this sent by email to a specific user or user group. So if I want a report to run every Friday and send off to my customer, I can go ahead and set that up. All right, great. Now let's take a closer look at course insights. So this is a little bit different from user progress in terms of this is actually giving us the performance of our courses and not so much the performance of our users. So as you can see when you first come in here, I can get a good snapshot of the top 4 courses that I have in my school. I can see how much average study time is, their average score, enrollments, certs issued, and social interactions through this nice little spider graph here. If I want to drill into all of my courses, I can actually see that here just by clicking all courses. I'll get the same information here. I go back into insights. Now I'll also be able to see how many enrollments I've had in my school for the past 30 days up to about a year. The same thing goes for my courses here, so I can see the top course or the course with the most enrollments over the course of a year if I'd like. Down here, these will populate as more analytics come into your school, but you'll be able to understand what your most popular courses are, the most engaging courses, your hardest courses, and even the courses with the most dropout. I actually pulled this back to about a year. I can see that most of my dropouts are in my first course, which also happens to be my most popular course. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here. By clicking onto the actual course, I'm going to open up a nice little menu here with additional information on the course. So I'll be able to see the average score, I'll be able to see the success rate, how many students are enrolled in the course, how many have enrolled versus completed, or versus started, versus above 50% versus completed. And of course, additional statistics on the course will be stored here as well. Now, any of these reports I can run down here on the right. I'll also be able to kind of scroll down and look at any of these reports just by kind of scrolling my mouse. Now, this is one of my favorite reports. The student progress distribution will actually tell me what percentage of the course most of my students lie. So I can see that there is one student with completed about 30 to 40% of the course, while another is only about 61 to 70% in. And if I click on this, I'll actually pull up information on who that student is. I can drill further into this and actually take a look at the activity breakdowns to see who has actually viewed a activity versus completed it. And it looks like most of my users have completed this at the moment. There is one user that is missing assignment 1. I can see that both of the users have viewed assignment 2 and the big test, or one user has viewed these and they have not completed it yet. So I'll get a good understanding of which of my users are viewing which activity, who's spending the most time on each activity, and of course unique views on a specific activity up to about a year if I'd like to get additional information. So Course Insights is really helpful if you're trying to understand how your courses are performing with your students, if there's bottleneck in your course content. It really helps kind of dive into the analytics and actually see what is going on in your courses. Next, let's take a quick look at the Gradebook. This will allow you to actually see what your users are, how your users are doing with grades or assignments or exams within your school. Each one of these, I can edit the score, I can see their answers, I can even export their answers here. But each student will have a nice average score here at the end, and all the assignments that have been graded here will be stored within the Gradebook. You can do this by course. You can export that information if you like, and that's how you can grab all the information on what's going on in your school. Next, we have certifications. This report will allow us to know what certs have been earned by our users, when they have been issued, who they were issued to, on what date, and I can actually pull a PDF of that cert as well from this particular screen. Assignments will allow me to actually grade any ungraded assignments that are due. So this is an assignment submitted by a user. I can come in here. I can actually take a look at this. This particular assignment is a PowerPoint that the user submitted. So I can view that, make comments, and of course add my score and submit that into the Gradebook. When it comes to sales, I do have the ability to check out my orders here, so I can see that I have a couple of orders today. Looks like $100 here, $100 there, $100 here. All the invoices are stored for me. I can see what payment gateway those payments were made on and what products were purchased and by who. Product revenue will actually show me revenue by product, so I can see that my first course has actually got me the most revenue here today. Instructor revenue will show me how my instructors are doing in terms of revenue. So which instructors are actually pulling in the most revenue for my school. Then of course I have my canceled sales, my events log, which we saw earlier on the dashboard, my emails log, which is all the notifications that are being sent out on the system, and I can view these here so I know what emails are going out, and my actions log, which will show me if I add users or do a bulk enrollment. That information will be set here. I won't go too deep into settings. I think we can probably touch on a few things here and there. But I do want to make sure that we can get to the site builder and the course builder as soon as possible here. So just really a couple of really important settings I think that are worth kind of highlighting here. Site language will allow you to modify some of the system language in here to match any language that you're trying to develop your school in. So if you're developing your school in Spanish, you can just do a quick translation of my account over here on the right. So this is all system language that exists throughout the platform, which of course was developed in English. So if you do need to make any changes to any of the system language, you can do so from this setting. Copyright protection, I think, is important for anyone who's looking to have a school online. You do want to protect your data. You do want to protect your information that you're putting out there and make sure that no one else is taking credit for it. So you can add your school logo to your videos, your name. You can also display the user's email or unique ID of that user who is watching the video. So if I were to ever copy my screen and go put that out on YouTube, you'd be able to trace that back to me as the user who put it out. Same thing goes for your PDFs. If I want, I can actually store that on a PDF here, so I can display that here with any of my PDFs. I also have the ability with PDFs to even allow my users to download. And if they can, I can choose whether or not they can make copies or even print that particular file. Privacy and GDPR, again, probably pretty important for anyone that is operating within the EU. GDPR is a must-have. We do have one-click compliance, so activating this will now display your cookie policy when a user visits your page. It will ask them if it's okay to accept cookies, and it will ask if it's okay to send marketing material. If you are based in another country, however, you are doing some business in the EU, you can turn this on so that users in your country will not receive that opt-out, but anyone visiting from the EU will. Next, we have our financial settings. So here you can actually set up your currency, your payment gateway. Now, if you don't see your payment gateway that you want to use here, these are the ones we natively integrate with. You could potentially use an API to integrate another payment gateway that you want to use. We also have a number of other integrations that are useful for anyone who is looking to do analytics. We have Google Analytics, Mixpanel, Tag Manager, and even Facebook Pixel. If you're looking to do some type of email marketing, which I highly recommend, I would use something like MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, Aweber, or ConvertKit. We do natively integrate with these. And as I mentioned before, if you want to push your leads directly into MailChimp, you can. We also integrate with Zoom and Webex. So if you want to host live sessions, you don't want to just have videos and PDFs, you can actually use this integration to host Zoom sessions right from your course player. So users would sign into the platform like they normally would. They'd go to your course, they'd open up the course player, and they would actually view the Zoom session right from the course player as opposed to coming in through Zoom. I think that's probably some of the more important integrations. Next, we have kind of webhooks and Zapier. Now, if you're trying to integrate with some applications that you don't see here as a native application or native integration with LearnWorlds, you can potentially use webhooks and you can use Zapier. If you're not familiar with Zapier, Zapier is a third party. It's a subscription-based service that kind of acts as a middleman. So it will take two applications that generally don't integrate and it will integrate the two. It can also be used for automation within LearnWorlds. So you can have users receive tags when they complete a course, or it can enroll them in a following course. It's very powerful if you're looking to add some automation, or you're looking to just integrate applications that you don't see here as a native integration. I would definitely check out Zapier. Let's go ahead and move on to course creation. So I'm going to go ahead and create a course. Actually, let's go to the course manager first. This allows us to view all the courses that we do have. I can clone courses from here, and I can even delete courses from here. So if I wanted to remove a course completely, I could just delete that. If I want to create a new course, I can either click here, here, or here. So let's go ahead and actually create a new course. So I'm going to start the course wizard here. We'll call this one test as well. I'm going to click next, and next I'm going to set up my URL. Now I think it's important to mention that once you have a URL set, you cannot modify that URL. What you could potentially do is clone the course that you have, give it a new name, a new URL, and delete the old one. The rest of the settings from here on out can be modified at a later time, so anything that you choose is not set in stone. Here are the different course types that we actually offer in LearnWorlds. We have a paid course. We have draft, which allows you to work on the course without users being able to view it or access that course or its page. We have coming soon, which is similar to draft. However, coming soon will allow users to see that this course exists. It will allow them to visit the course page, but they cannot enroll in the course. So what you would do is actually create a promotional page for this course, let them know that something is coming. It's there to kind of build hype, to build marketing potential, and eventually get people to enroll in that course when it comes out. Free courses are available on the Pro plan and up. This will allow you to create a free course that anyone on the platform can sign up for without having to pay. And then lastly, we have private courses. Private courses cannot be seen by any other individual on the system unless they are manually enrolled in that private course. This could be something like a one-on-one session. This could be a particular customer's course that you don't want other customers to see. So you can create private courses that can be manually enrolled into. I'm going to go ahead and create a paid course. Click next. Now we have the course card here that I can set up. Now you can see an example of this out here where I have an image, the title, the description, the author's name, the price, all that information stored there as the product card. This step can be done later, so I'm actually going to go ahead and skip it, but you can set all that information here if you'd like. Next, we're going to choose if we want to start with a drip feed or not. What drip feed is actually the ability to control the content on your screen. So if you are looking to actually control what users can actually access in terms of content. So this means I could have section 1 available on day 1, whereas section 2 won't actually unlock until, let's say, day 7. Or section 3 won't unlock until the person's enrolled for 14 days. So you can actually control how much of the content is actually accessible by your users using drip feed. And you can do this by day or by date. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish. Now, once I click finish, this is going to create a course page for me. So a course page is almost like the course's homepage. This allows users to see what the course is about. You can add things here like testimonials. You can add things like marketing material, pricing, videos, whatever you can to get the user to actually enroll in this course is what you want to put here on the course page. What you see here is a template. It can be modified within the site builder, and I can access that from here. But I can make modifications to all of this if I'd like. What I'm going to show you now is just actually kind of touch on the content of this particular, how to add content to a course. So if I click here, I'm going to go ahead and add a section here. And I'm going to either make this section free or paid. So depending, I know the course is paid, I could actually make this section free if I wanted. So I could have, section 1 free to any user that wants to try it out. But if they want to go past section 1, they're going to have to pay. So let's just make this one free in this case, and I'm going to go ahead and save. So now that I have a section, I can actually start filling that section in with content. Things like videos or ebooks or PDFs or even YouTube, SoundCloud, audio files, or SCORM packages. I also have my live sessions here, so my Zoom meetings, webinars, and Webex meetings. I have questionnaires that can be added into the course, things like quizzes, exams, assignments, file assignments, certificates, and a certificate of completion. And then I can also embed code, slide shares, or external links into my course player. Now, I'm not going to go into the course creation process in too much detail today. We do have another webinar that focuses on course creation, so that kind of dives into this a little bit deeper. But I do want to show you how you can actually add things like videos or so to the course. So if I click here, I'm just going to do a test video. I'm going to choose a video here from my school library. Let's just pick, this SEO one here. And I'm going to save. So now that I've saved, I'm actually want to go ahead and view what this will look like from the course player. So as a student, currently, this is what the student would see when they're in the course player. The videos, the PDFs, the SCORM files, all those will play over here on the right. This can be collapsed or opened up further. As you can see, I have my first section here. This can also be collapsed. So I'd have all my sections down here on the left with all the content underneath those. A learner can see what other learners are in the course, and they can actually just have a nice little discussion here within the community. So I could say something like, that video was cool. I can share that, and then other users can make comments, vote it up, vote it down, or even add their own comments here. So you can house a discussion based on the activity. And that's essentially the course player. Now, the rest of the options up here allow you to set things like, again, the type of course that this is going to be, an expiration date. I can set my pricing from here. The settings will allow me to modify that course card. The course player will actually allow me to modify how that course player is going to look to my users, whether they can freely navigate or have to go in a sequential order or even navigate with prerequisites can be modified here. And then I have my course library and the dashboard for that course. Now that we've gone through that, again, I just wanted to touch on that today, just show you what you can and can't do within LearnWorlds. I'm going to now move on to the site builder. So the last thing we're going to take a look at today is the site builder. When I click site builder here, it's going to open up a ton of different options for me to start looking through. And I can do things from here like setting up my sign up and sign in form and how that's going to appear to my users. I can set up my logo and my favicon as well. So this will allow me to set up my logo and the favicon, which is actually the little icon that appears up in the tab area. For anyone who is a custom coder, they can come to this custom code section here and start doing some modifications to the custom code. You can see it opens up a coder for the page as well as the site. The blog setup will allow me to activate my blog. If I'd like to have a blog active, I can enable that blog or deactivate it. I can edit the blog homepage, so this is a little shortcut for us. Change the name and the description of that blog if I'd like. I will get into the Popup Manager in a little bit. I think it's important for us to understand the actual page builder before I jump into the Popup Manager. And so let's just take a close look at the sign in and sign up here. So this will actually allow me to modify that form that we saw earlier. So this will allow me to set the template for that form, but I can come in here and choose how my users are going to access my site. I can turn on and off socials if I'd like to have socials on and off. And I can choose the fields that are required for a user to sign up. If I don't see a field here that I want, I can add a field. So I can come up here, create a new field, make it active, make that required, and even choose what kind of field it's going to be. So drop down, checkbox, radio buttons, and even a date. Once I'm ready, I add that, and it's now part of my form. I can also choose whether or not I want to show my terms and conditions, if they must be reviewed, and allow multiple sessions or not. All right, so now that we've taken a look at some of these options, let's go ahead and actually take a look at the Theme Explorer. The Theme Explorer is actually the first place I recommend you go when you first come to LearnWorlds to start designing your site, and there's a couple reasons for that. This is like the command center for design when it comes to designing your website here. The choices you make here will modify not just the page you see here on the right, but the site itself. And this first tab is similar to just kind of trying on clothes in a mirror and trying out some different things here. I can just kind of click and it will modify the site as a whole. As you can see here, if I select any of these, the entire site is changing based on the color scheme that I've selected there. The same thing goes for fonts. This is just kind of maybe if I want to try out some different font combinations that have been pre-made, I can go ahead and check some of those out. I can even modify the layout of these particular sections over here. So if I want to condense those down, I can go ahead and condense those down. Now the tabs at the top will allow me to make further customizations to my page. This will allow me to select a brand color, a background color, and text colors here. I can just come in here, open up the palette, either use a hexa or an RGBA code or even these sliders here to choose a color that I want. And as you can see, as I modify that, it is modifying the page and the site in real time. Typography will allow me to modify the fonts of my site. So I can choose a main font here and a heading font. I can choose additional font families to work with as well, and even the size of the fonts that I want to use. So when I am out here on the right and I'm making changes, if I click a text box here, I can actually select the fonts that I've chosen within the Theme Explorer. Same thing goes for those font types. So it just makes it easier when I'm designing my site to keep things very consistent from page to page because I'm using the same font sets that I've set within the Theme Explorer. Buttons and inputs will allow me to modify how my buttons and inputs are going to look on the page. So I can select a large button, a normal button, or a small button. Same thing goes for these inputs where people would enter their email or their information. And I can modify from here what these are actually going to look like. So, dropping this to 0 would make this more of a squared button versus a rounded one. I can modify the padding, even the text that is available within that button. And then lastly, I have layouts, right? So each one of these sections that we see here on the right is this particular layout size, and I can modify the sizes of those from here. So anything that I set in the Theme Explorer is going to be used when I'm out here building the page itself. Now, in the actual page builder, there's a couple options up here at the top. I'll just run through them real quick, and then I'll kind of take you through some of the structure here that you'll see on the page builder. Now, I do have another webinar that we host that is specific to the page builder, so I do recommend checking that one out if you want to kind of a true deep dive into that particular webinar. So let's start here with this the page manager up here. So the page manager will allow you to move throughout all the different pages that you have on your site. Okay, and you can do it by selecting some of these top pages here or opening up the actual page manager, where you can see, you know, the status of the page. Is it in draft or is it public? You can edit from here, preview the page, delete, or even clone a page. But you'll be able to see all the different pages you have available. There's some categories for you to select over here on the left so that you can easily find the page that you're looking for. Next, we have the page properties. This will allow you to set up the page name, whether or not you want the top bar or the footer to show on that page, even group that particular page. Again, this could be a system page if I wanted. And I can set the SEO from here. So if I want to modify some of the SEO, I can do that from this page properties as well. Next, we have the blog. So if I do have my blog active, I can activate a new blog post here, visit the home page and make my modifications, and then manage all my posts within the blog post manager. And I have pop-ups as well, so I can create my pop-ups and manage my pop-ups from here. Now, I will show you that in just a little bit, but first, let's go ahead and take a look at the page builder, because it all kind of ties together. Next, we have the viewer, right? So this will allow you to see what your page looks like on a desktop versus a mobile phone. So you can see here, it does shrink it down if you're on the mobile phone, and this will allow you to see what your page actually looks like. I think before we go any further, it's important for us to understand what actually makes up a page in LearnWorlds. So there are three pieces. There is the top bars. That's right, there are two top bars. There's a top bar for users who are signed in and users who are signed out. There are sections that make up the majority of the page or the bulk of the page. And then we have a footer down here at the bottom. Now, if you think of these sections as blocks, and each one of these has a specific block type, essentially what we're doing is stacking blocks on top of each other to create a page. So this particular block or section is a hero section. It's generally at the top of our page. It's got some type of call to action. And as you can see here, there are a number of layouts or templates that we have already created for this particular section type. And you can just kind of click and modify what this section is going to look like. So you can change that template based on what we've created here. I can even go back to what I originally had. So any content that I had in there is going to remain in there. Doesn't matter what template I choose, the content that I've had in there should remain in there as I go through those. That's actually why we refer to these as magic templates. Each one of these sections is made up of columns. So this particular section has two columns. I can see one here and one here. Down here we have four columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so on. Now, each column you populate with widgets. So this particular widget here, again, you stack these on top of each other, just like building blocks. I can easily add additional elements or widgets to the page by clicking that little plus button and choosing from the nice library that we have here. So everything from text to animations, to buttons, galleries, icons, even images for me to add within my page. So if I want to add something to collect emails, I can even add that in here just by kind of clicking and dropping that in. Now I can drag and drop that below if I'd like. If I wanted it up at top, I could. So now a user can actually enter in their email here, and we can get that information in our lead page if we'd like. Now, if I wanted to add another block here, I could easily do that by clicking this here and choosing from a different section type. So there are a number of different section types, everything from product pages or product sections to payment sections to FAQs, galleries and grids. Really, I can choose any of these to just kind of drop directly into the page. I can also build my own layouts. So these are column layouts if I'd like. I can drop these in as blank, and I can start filling those in with widgets and actually designing my own templates here. In this case, let's just drop a product one in here. As you can see, it just places that right into the page. I can click on this particular product section and open up the menu over here on the right. Now, every one of the elements that you see here has a menu that will open up on the right. If I click on text, the text has a text menu here. It's got actions that can be applied to that text and layout modifications that I can make. Same thing with images. There's the main image menu. There are the actions that I can apply to that and the modifications I can make to that image's layout. Same thing goes for sections and columns. They all have the same kind of setup. So I have my property menu here for my sections. I can actually move this up and down the page if I'd like. I can clone or copy this section, go to another page and paste it. I can even modify the coding if I'd like. The same thing goes for even a column, right? So if I click on a column here, I can modify the alignment, the vertical alignment, the background. I can even change the visibility, things like that. So actions and layout. So it's pretty easy to use the page builder. It's not hard. It's just basically stacking blocks on top of each other. You don't need to know any web development if you don't know web development. The same thing goes for the widgets or the elements like text and images, things like that. You simply just kind of add a new element into the column, whether it's text or anything else, and they stack right on top of each other. Now you can obviously change within that column how those are going to look. I can even come into the section here and modify the order of that column. So I can really start to get kind of customized on some of these. The header of the page, if we go up here to the top bar, I can start modifying the top bar here. So I can see, you know, the after login, or the top bar for those who are logged in and the top bar for those who are logged out. I can modify the navigation here, so I can change any of these if I want. I can delete them if I'd like. I can add submenus here, and I can modify where these menus actually take my users. So I could say it goes to a page, it's the About page, and it opens in a new window. So you can actually create an entire navigation system for users who are logged in and logged out. You know, just using this here. Now, if there's something down here I wanted to use, I could just drag that up. I can change the order here as well. And the same thing goes for the footer. You know, I can modify, very similar to the top bars there, I can modify how my footer is going to look here. So I just click here, edit the school footer, make the modifications to the layout if I'd like, just have a different layout here. I can change the image, the color, I can apply different actions here, and then if I want to add, you know, additional things to my list here, I can just add list items. Right, so I can add additional things here, links for my users. If I want to make this a link, I could just add an action here. Let's say URL, right? It could go to a particular page, a URL, anything I want, really. So before we wrap this up, let me take a closer look at the pop-ups as well. Now we kind of have an understanding of how the page builder works out here. And again, I have a webinar that focuses on this. We actually go in, create brand new pages from scratch using templates, things like that. So I definitely recommend checking that one out as well. Again, this is more of an overview today, so we're just trying to kind of you know, touch on everything that the platform offers and not really focus on any individual thing. So let's just take a look at the Popup Manager before we wrap up. Now the Popup Manager will allow me to modify or manage any of the pop-ups I've already created, or I can create a brand new one. So these pop-ups have templates that we've already created. Now you can modify these just like you could to the page builder. So any of these can be modified just by kind of clicking. The pop-ups don't necessarily have to be something about a newsletter or marketing or anything like that. Pop-ups can be things like videos that will explain how to use the platform to your users, or welcome videos. And you can actually, if I click on one of these, just do a quick name here. Let's call this one test. Pop-up. There we go. I'm going to make it draft mode. I can categorize it if I want to categorize it, and I'm going to create. Let's just do continue. All right. So now from here, I can actually modify the pop-up and how it's going to look. Now you can see, I can just click here. I can add things like text, just like I could in the page builder. So this pop-up will show up right on the screen of the user that I want it to. So the pop-ups actually have some properties. If I click up here on the left here, and this will allow me to set those properties. So I can choose a target audience for users who are logged out or logged in, even users with tags, right? So we went over tags earlier. You know, if I add a tag here, only users with this tag will receive this pop-up. I could show that in certain devices. I can say when to show that. So maybe there's a specific page I want to show pop-ups on. I can choose those here. I can say when to show it. You know, maybe after the page is loaded, after a certain amount of time. And I can add rules. So maybe I want to only want to show a pop-up once, right? I could say show this pop-up one time, and then that's it. So you have some really good power to control these pop-ups and really target specific individuals. You could use them for system announcements about a course. If the instructor is sick and they can't do a live session, you could send a message out to all your users in platform, basically saying, hey, you know, we've rescheduled the session. Instead of sending an email out to everyone, so every time someone logs in, they'll get that pop-up. So you can be very targeted with these. And that pretty much covers the session today. I do appreciate you taking a look at this today. It was, again, a general overview. So I did touch on a lot of the settings, a lot of the marketing material stuff, the reports, the user management, the course builder, and even the site builder. Again, we have webinars that focus on the actual site builder and the actual course creation process. Check those out if you want those. Or, you know, check out the trial. The trial is actually free. You don't have to enter any credit card information. So if you just want to play around with it and you want to learn kind of on your own, I do recommend checking out the trial. You have 30 days really to do anything you want. If whatever you've created you want to carry over into actual license, you can do that. So you can set that up. When you move to a license, everything you've created will remain there that you created within the trial. So thank you very much for joining tonight. I hope this was helpful for you to understand what's on the platform. If you have any other questions, please reach out to support@learnworlds.com, and they will do their best to answer those for you. So thank you very much. Have a great day or a great night, depending on where you are in the world.